Ramsey Network, this is The Ramsey Show, where we help you get control of your money, get ahead in your career, and get on the path to living well. I'm George Camel, Ramsey personality and host of the On-Trade Leadership Podcast and the Fine Print Podcast, joined today by my best friend, Dr. John Deloney, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, and we are here for you, America, to take your questions about life, money, mental health, boundaries, crypto, you name it. There's a wide spectrum out there, John, and we are here to help those that are in a crossroads. If you need some confirmation, if you've got a burning question, we're here for you. And Christy kicks us off this hour in Charlotte, North Carolina. Christy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you?
We're doing great. How can we help?
Okay, I'm going to try to get through this. It's emotional. My husband's 39-year-old sister died in a car accident in June of this year. And she left behind two daughters, 17 and 21 years old, who now live with my husband's parents.
Okay.
The 21-year-old graduated from college in May after in 3 years and is starting a job as a high school math teacher this month. And the 17-year-old doesn't have a driver's license yet, but she wants to get a job after that. And I'm just trying to I'd like to maybe purchase them Financial Peace University. My husband and I joined in January, and we've paid off $26,000 in debt so far.
Wow.
At the same time as paying our daughter's college tuition. So I feel like it would help them start out their lives, but also they just lost their mom. I don't know how to broach the subject, if I shouldn't, because it's none of my business. Or anyway.
So, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. This is one of those devastating moments. If you were in the booth here with me and George, you can feel it in here. Like, it's the worst thing you can imagine, right?
Yeah.
So we'll give you FPU for both the girls. Like, we'll take that off the table. Don't worry about that. A quick question here: is Dad still in the picture?
He pays child support, but
Okay.
he is remarried and lives in a different town with his wife and their newborn and her 3 children.
Okay. Do you have a relationship with these girls?
Yes, they are like my other children.
Okay. Have you been with them over the last 30 days or the last month and a half?
Yeah, we spend all the time in the world with them, yeah.
Okay. So the challenge here is you're grieving deeply.
Yes, and that's why I don't know if it's a good time to bring it up, because it's like, that's probably the last thing on their mind. But with her starting a new job, it's also the perfect time to get her a head start in life.
Right. So you're going to have a delicate balance of both and. What you cannot do is use doing things for these girls, make them responsible for your healing through this grief. Okay? And
right.
You've stepped into a role, because this is the character of person you are, this is the relationship you had with them, of some sort of maternal proxy for them. They need a mother figure as they're trying to navigate what's going to be a wild decade for them, right? One heading into their 20s and the other heading into life after high school. And so they'll need you to step into that role if they invite you in, and at the same time, you're going to have to make sure your service to them isn't the way you're going to find healing through this thing, okay?
Okay.
So you're going to have to be really open and honest with yourself about, I need to go talk to somebody. I need to grieve this. I need to have a core group of women my age who are doing that I can talk to. And sitting down with these young ladies and saying, hey, I'm willing to step in any way, shape, form, or fashion as we head off into life without your mom. And the greatest gift you can give them is to let them see you grieve. Because if they don't, they're going to think they're crazy for being as heartbroken and distraught as they are. Okay? Seeing an adult that they trust and love in their life be super sad gives them permission to be sad, which is the path towards healing. Okay? And then, sitting down and saying, hey, we are anything you'll need. Here's some money. Here's a book. Here's a thing. Ask if they are interested in those type of things and be ready to present them if they are. Okay. But right this second, I mean, you can talk to them. They're going to be in shock for a season. Right.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, it was actually on the 17-year-old daughter's birthday.
Jeez Louise. What a mess.
So Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. There's you're grasping to make sense of what's next, and there's just going to be a season of darkness, and there's going to be a season of we got to pay the bills, right? So making sure the four walls are covered that we talk about here. Yes, that.
And like I said, they're living with my in-laws, so the four walls are covered.
That's right.
They're grandparents.
The greatest gift you can give them right now, I'll add a second thing. The first one is let them see you grieve. The second one is just presence. Just presence, just showing up and not trying to solve anything for them right now, but just showing up and being an adult who loves them in their presence and being sad with them, and those weird little moments of laughter that you can't stop, but you don't understand why because you're supposed to be sad, right? All of that emotion, being present with them. And they're not going to remember what y'all talked about. They won't remember the deep, dark talks, and they'll remember that, that Aunt Christy kept showing up, and Aunt Christy kept showing up, and Aunt Christy kept showing up. Does that help?
Yeah.
Can I just tell you, me and George, I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry for your brother. I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for your whole family. I'm sorry for those two young women.
You're an incredible gift to them, Christy.
Yeah,
even without monetary gifts, just caring this deeply for those girls is probably going to do more than any financial gift you can give to them. And it sounds like they've got a good head on their shoulders. They're going to be all right. But the more you show up for them and the more you help them, there's a lot of life to be lived. They're 17 and 21. And so this is not a what to do in the next 6 months. This is what does the next 10 years look like of supporting them and being this maternal proxy like John mentioned. But we want to be a part of that by gifting them Financial Peace University. I hope they go through it. I don't know that I would have at 17 in this stage of life and what they're going through, but it's there when they want it.
Yeah, and we'll throw in the app too. That may be you could be like, hey, we're going to go with Financial Peace, and we've got this app, and they'll be like, all right, I'll look at the app. But we'll send you the Every Dollar app too. We'll send you 3 of those, one for each one of them, and one for you and your husband to use. And you can just say, hey, we'll step in the gap here. If they roll their eyes and they're like, no, it's not the time, Aunt Christy, we could care less, but that's fine. They are young people grieving because their entire world has been dumped upside down. Mm-hmm. And they're going to grieve this for a long, long time. As George said, we're settling in for the long game on this one. I'm so sorry.
I'm going to go ahead and send you a copy of Dr. John's book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, and Ken Coleman's book, From Paycheck to Purpose, to maybe help out that 17-year-old as she figures out what the new normal looks like, as she figures out education and adulthood and all of this stuff. So thank you so much for the call, Christy. So sorry for what you're going through, what those girls are going through. We're cheering you guys on for what's next. And hang on the line. Austin will pick up. We'll get you Own Your Past, Change Your Future, From Paycheck to Purpose, Financial Peace University, 2 sets of that, and Every Dollar premium for the girls. Thanks so much for the call and trusting us with the situation. More of your calls coming up. 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show.
Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career.
I'm George Campbell, joined today by Dr. John Deloney. This is The Ramsey Show. Give us a call, 888-825-5225. We're taking your questions about life, money, mental health, relationships, you name it. Rachel joins us up next in Chicago. Rachel, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me on the show.
Hey, how you doing? What's going on?
Good. I was just calling with a quick question here. It's actually pretty similar to the last caller, but at what point do we stop helping family financially? My brother was murdered a couple years ago, and he left behind a 3-year-old, so our niece, and we've helped, mom out as she was a single mom for a year or so, and now she's moved on, married, we offered to adopt our niece and were turned down, and we don't really see a future for them to be self-sustaining in her new relationship and her outlook in life and just, overall. So I just don't really know what to do at this point. Our niece is 3 years old, and I would like your thoughts on, where to go from here, how to help but not enable, and how to really help her when she's, a state away.
So do you not trust her with the money that you're sending at this point? Is that the real issue?
Yes.
You want to support your niece, but you don't think it's actually going to support your niece in the right way.
Is your niece safe?
Well, that's questionable. I'm
asking. That's a simple yes or no. Is that kid being abused sexually, psychologically? Is that kid getting food? Is the kid safe? Is the kid getting neglected?
DCFS has been involved in the past.
Okay.
And for neglect and things like that. Mm-hmm. So I would say at this point we don't have any knowledge of that happening, but I think it's a high possibility in the future.
Okay. If I don't, that's one of the few things I just simply don't mess around with even a little bit. If I have an inkling that, because there's a child at stake, right? And I'd rather sleep at night knowing that somebody doesn't like me and their child's safe than the other way around. Okay. So if you ever get an inkling that the child's not safe, then we're going to make that call again. We're going to make it again. We're going to make it again. I know that system's a jacked up mess, but we're going to keep making that call.
Yes, so we do keep in contact and make sure that we're always calling and checking up on her and just
hold on.
over FaceTime.
Here's the other side of it. It is really hard to hear that little girl is her child.
Right.
And the more you are grieving through trying to insert yourself into this little child's life, the bigger of a mess this is going to turn into. See what I'm saying? This has become a proxy for your grief. And so, like, George asked a great question, like, are you not trusting with the money? Then stop sending the money. Like,
we're not.
Yeah, then stop sending it. I would have a meeting, I would have a conversation and say, hey, it's been a year and a half, you've moved on, you're remarried or whatever you are. We're going to stop doing X. We may create an account for her college, because that's what we're going to do over time, that only she will have access to. But we're going to begin to let you fly on your own, right? I'm going to have that conversation. I'm just going to cut off one weekend, right? But channel your grief and channel your frustration and channel some of your hurt into something that's going to be more fruitful.
Okay.
But right now you're trying to parent by proxy, and it's just causing a mess for you. It's causing a mess for them. It's just becoming a convoluted. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's hard. I know what I'm telling you is hard. It's hard.
The hard part about this is that it almost feels like, then we won't have any access to her at all. And so
here's the hard part. It's her kid. And if she wants to deny access to her aunts and uncles, unfortunately, she's allowed to do that.
Okay.
What I would want is a track record. There's no legal right. I would say there might even be a moral and ethical right, but there's no legal right that an aunt and uncle have to access to somebody else's child. I would want to create a track record where that kid will know that Aunt so-and-so and Uncle so-and-so wrote me a card every week. Every week I got something in the mail from them for my whole childhood. And that 3-year-old, that 7-year-old, that 9-year-old, that 14-year-old won't get it. That 22-year-old will. That 29-year-old will. she'll go through life knowing I know somebody who loves me. See what I'm saying? We're playing a long game here now.
Okay.
So, Rachel, you said you've stopped sending money to them, but you're still wondering how can we help without monetarily gifting money?
Yes. I mean, this came kind of all to a head because she's asking for money now, and this is now the next iteration of now we need money for this, and now we need money for that, and we haven't sent it because I wanted to talk to you first.
Yeah, so I sit down and say if it's about clothes or if it's about food, I might, I'll do if you're asking me for help financially, and my help comes with fill in the blank. It's your money. I'll help you do a budget. That's the only way I'm going to give you money. I will help you with X, Y, and Z. That's the only way I'm going to give you money. I'm going to do it one more time, and you need to know this is the last from where this comes from. We're creating a college account for her, but see what I'm saying? Like, it's your money, so it's your boundaries, and it's your decisions, and you can put all kind of hoops you want to, and if she says, I'm not doing all that, that's great. You're choosing not to take my money. That's her choice, not yours. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I know, again, all that's hard. What's the hesitation?
That she's not going to want to do it.
Cool.
She's not going to do it.
Yeah, she's opting out. And I say cool, not in a, that's not great for that kid, I'm sure. I'm not saying like, all right. It's not like that. You know what I mean? Like, she's making grown-up choices.
Right.
Sounds like the next step is another hard conversation to go, listen, I want to support this little girl who I care deeply about, but it's going to be on my terms.
And the conversation before that one is with your husband, and y'all sit down and say, here's what we're willing to do, and here's how far we're willing to go, and this is what our boundaries are going to be. And then just know that anytime you set boundaries, everyone around you in your life are going to try to test those boundaries to see if they hold. She's going to call you desperate at midnight. I got to have food money, or the kid's hungry. They're going to come test those boundaries, and y'all are going to have to decide up front how firm we're going to hold, right? And then from there, you got to make peace with that's her child. And if you get wind of it not being safe, I'm going to make those calls, but I'm not going to try to armchair parent somebody else's kid in a different house from far away.
Right. Okay, I think that's really good advice. I think I can see myself doing that in a variety of instances of parenting, and it's a little hard because we did parent her. She was placed in our home as a foster child when she was born.
Wow. Hey, so, Rachel, I think it's wise for you and your husband to go grieve this like a loss. You love this little girl, don't you?
Yeah.
And you loved her dad, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. You'll need to grieve the loss. And the 3-year-old can't prop up you and your husband's grief, okay? There's a hole there, and y'all got to address the hole. Y'all got to sit in the hole for a while. And find some more productive avenues to give you peace. You'll make meaning on the back end of this, right? We're going to take care of kids. That's going to be who we are. We take care of kids whose parents pass away, or we take care of kids who are struggling. We're going to be foster parents. We're going to make meaning on the back end of this, but right now we have to grieve it. And I don't know that y'all are there yet. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, we'll walk with you. We love you. I'm going to send you 2 copies of Financial Peace University, okay? It's me and George. It's our gift to you. You can sit down and say, hey, I'm going to offer this to you, and I'll go with it. Go through this with you, and that's going to be the condition of me giving you any more money. And this is the last time we do that. Like whatever, I'm not going to give you parameters what they happen to be, but I'm going to give you some cash to get some food and diapers right now, but I'm also going to give you a tool that's going to help you change this thing. And you're right, she's probably not going to do it. She's probably not. But you'll be able to sleep at night knowing I put a fishing pole and weights and bait and hooks and know-how on the front porch. She chose to not go fishing.
Yeah, and ask her what exactly she needs, and then you can go drop the diapers at the door. If you don't trust her what she's doing with the money, then you provide exactly what the thing is, and you can sleep easy at night knowing you did what was right for you. But hang on the line. Austin will pick up. We'll get you 2 copies of Financial Peace University to help walk through this with them and hopefully create some semblance of a relationship so that you can have a relationship with that little girl. Thanks so much for the call. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first oldest and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Every time you hear someone do their debt-free scream on this show, it's because at some point they said, enough, I'm not living like this anymore, I've had it. And when you get mad like that and do what they did, your life will change too. And right now, inflation and your stupid credit cards are killing you. You've started to believe you're not in control of your money, that it's all just happening to you. But you're wrong. And you've got to decide to control what you can control, and that's you. That person in the mirror, your behavior. You have the power to change your future, and Financial Peace University will show you how. This course will teach you the proven step-by-step plan that's helped nearly 10 million people beat debt, master budgeting, and build wealth. And you can do it too. And I get it. When I first started this thing, I went, George's plan is fantastic, but it also ended up with him being broke. So let's try this other plan over here. And guys, that almost a decade ago, that changed my life. So stop letting debt and money stress control your life. Say enough and take back your control. Start Financial Peace University at RamseySolutions.com/enough. That's RamseySolutions.com/enough.
The way you started that ad, when you said every time, it made me think of that song. Remember
Sing
that?
it. Sing it. I know you're
come
thinking
around the
about
city, bling bling. Every time somebody says the words every time, I think
That's what triggers in your
bling
brain.
bling.
And
Yep.
that was a glimpse into the dark mind of Dr. John DeLone.
Every time I think about you, my good friend, I think of bling bling. You always look nice. You always look put
Wow,
together.
thank you. Wow,
Bling.
you've come a long way since 2 days ago, John.
Bling,
You
bling.
made fun of my denim jacket for no reason.
No, it's corduroy and it's August. That sounds
Makes
about
sense.
right.
Let's go to the phones where I'm safe. Michelle joins us there to save us all. Michelle, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Thank you so much for taking my call.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I have a question. My house is going up for sale now, and I also have a lot of investment savings. And I'm in a very strange situation where I'm currently looking for a job, so I don't have that income, and my family is helping me out until I do.
Did you quit your job or get fired? What happened?
No, I have not had a career. I'm 56. I used to work as a volunteer with foster kids for about 8 years. So I'm hoping to leverage that, and I've been for almost 2 years studying to do something around that. So that's what I've been looking for right now. If I don't get that, I'll get something else.
Okay. Are you married?
No.
Okay. So up to this point, where has your income come from?
Well, I've been saving over the years. I was supported by my family at that time, and slowly built up. Right now, it's $705,000 in an index fund.
That's incredible.
Wait, they would support you, and you would take that money and put it in savings? Is that what it means?
Yes.
So you live off some of it and invest the rest? Was that the idea?
Correct. And then I don't have any debt. I have the house is going on the market for. I'll probably get $520 when it's done, and that's debt free as well.
So the home's paid for, so you're getting all the net proceeds after fees.
Yes.
Which you think will be $520.
Wait, I'm still confused. You don't work?
Well, I don't work. I worked for free, basically, for years as a volunteer. Right. I'm trying to. I will have to work. Let me put it that way. I need to get a job for sure. So
Okay.
I'm doing that.
Has the
I
family
just applied
support
to
stopped?
2 jobs yesterday, for example.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
But you're a millionaire who's never held a paying job, right?
Correct.
Wow. Was this a trust fund of sorts where, for
No.
56 years, or what was the story there? I'm just curious.
We don't talk
just
to a lot of
fascinating.
millionaires who've never worked. This is new for us.
Well,
You tell us as much as you want to.
Yeah.
right.
And preferably all of it, because I'd love to know.
Well, that's really all I can say.
Okay.
Cool. Here's what's happened. I was under the understanding that would be forever, and was told that when I suggested that, hey, I need to go and get this career going, why don't you just go back to volunteering with the foster kid, and all, children's medical and all that. So I didn't, and that was my mistake. And now I'm scrambling, trying to put a career together, which is great. But
well, hold on, we don't need to scramble, Michelle. You've got $1 million plus in your net worth. Mm-hmm. You don't need to scramble.
You've got a big pile of money to float you until you can find a job that you actually enjoy.
Yeah.
Well, I want to put it all in the index fund, or most of it from my house, and I'm wondering if that's just not what to do.
Well, where are you going to live once you sell this house?
Well, it's going to rent for 6 to 12 months, and then I obviously have to downsize to conserve, And
it's just you?
Yes.
Okay. So I like the idea of renting. You're going to need a pile of money to do that. We're going to need a fully funded emergency fund, which we don't really know what your bills are quite yet. So I'd probably just, to be safe, maybe put away $50,000 to $100,000, and you can invest the rest if you're not sure what you're going to do with it for now. Which
I have $80 cash right now.
Okay. So you're in a good spot there. So this $520 added to the $705, that puts $1.2 million in that account, right?
Yes.
And so if that account grows at, let's say, 9 or 10%, you could peel off, $70,000 a year and probably not touch the principal for a long time. Mm-hmm. So you can create an income off of that.
I guess I'm worried that if something happens the first year and it clobbers 30%. I think that's
Michelle, you have $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it clobbers 30%,
You're 56. You've invested for the long term. So we're not worried about what happens in the next 6 to 12 months. This is a long-term play. And you don't lose money unless you cash it out.
Right, which I have plenty of time left to work, at least a decade. So,
and you're asking me and George, we can't tell you that the market could lose 30% over one calendar year. The chances of that happening are so comically minuscule that it's not worth. We could get hit by a meteorite too. Both of those things could happen.
If you've got $80,000 and $1.2 million in investments, you're doing better than 99.999% of Americans.
Of any human who's ever lived on the face of the planet.
Better. Okay.
So just know that you're doing
30 years
great.
Of living left, and I don't want to touch that nest egg ever, so I'll be working my butt off, of course, but I just thank you that I feel better.
Well, it sounds like right now, this is just such a new, strange phase for you where you're going, okay, for 56 years, I haven't had to do this thing, and now all of a sudden, you feel like it's a scramble. But you've got time, you've got money, and those are the two greatest resources anyone could have.
Can I tell you the one thing I'm way more worried about your money? I'm way more worried about you having purpose, a reason for getting up every day, a reason, a thing you are contributing to make the world a better place. Which then, I'm going to do hard stuff during the day, and that's going to bring my body peace. It's going to bring. That's what joy is, right? And you're going to get frustrated and annoyed, and kids are going to throw up on you. I'm going to go through hard stuff every day, and that's going to. It's gonna connect with me at a soul level. I'm worried about you not having any purpose.
Yeah, so that's where the job comes in that I'm currently competing with.
No, you can't let a job be your purpose. A job is part of the mission of who you like. It's a manifestation of who you are. Like my purpose is to help people. If my job is helping people on YouTube, I'm going to go sideways quick. You see what I'm saying? But if I get fired today and I work at Burger King tomorrow, shout out, way to go, Burger King. There's your ad for the day. I am going to help people in that job, right? That's going to be who I am. So I want you to find a purpose and a job. right?
So, Michelle, I might take that home profit and put it in a money market savings account for now, a high-yield savings account, and maybe you purchase a place for yourself, a condo with cash, so you can remove that fixed expense. On top of that, I'm going to gift you our friend Ken Coleman's Get Clear Assessment to help you figure out what's next, and his book, From Paycheck to Purpose, which will guide you to exactly what John is talking about. What a strange situation, John, but a good place to be.
I'll take it.
Worst problems to have out there. Thanks for the call, Michelle. Appreciate it. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined today by Dr. John Deloney. You know, John, I did an Instagram Q&A yesterday. You know, we do that on occasion to get some questions, and I'm doling out life-changing financial advice left and right.
It's the same advice I get, just as your friend.
Exactly, for free. It's all for free, John. And someone asked, hey, let's see I mentioned that I have apps on my phone in folders on the second page, alphabetical folders, categorized.
Yep.
And that was the one that got all the response. No one cared about the life-changing financial advice. They were all very impressed with my categorized folders. So that's my life hack for you.
My life hack is I
to
have
not
3
have
apps.
Yes.
Yes.
They fit on one page.
They fit right on the front.
I have 266.
Apps?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a digital hoarder.
I could see that.
Yeah. Anyways.
That's great.
Is it?
It's great.
I feel like I need to see someone about that.
Nope.
I don't know why
All of my friends have different things that they do in their life. It's great. Different values.
The more you say that's great, the less I believe you. Well, open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. We'll take your questions about life, money, and apps if you're curious.
Do you know
there.
all the apps that you have off the top of your head?
No, absolutely not. I downloaded them 9 years ago. And
That's what I was wondering. Okay.
Yeah, a buddy of mine was like, why do you have 7 sleep apps? I'm like, I don't know. I don't use any of them.
Gotcha.
I don't sleep.
There you go.
There we go. Danielle joins us up next in St. Louis. Danielle, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Absolutely. What's going on?
Well, I am just starting out. I started June 3rd and went right into baby step 2. I guess I have a 2-part question. First, I am struggling with figuring out the budget aspect of it. I know you guys say it takes about 3 months, and I'm starting to see it working out a little better, but I just am having trouble with figuring out how to have patience and not pay all my bills right up front on that first paycheck and then waiting and not having any money when I get to my second paycheck.
Oh, so you're draining the checking account right away.
I'm overzealous to pay my bills. So that's part of it. And I also just feel like I need a goal of when I should be having, like how much I should be paying towards it, so I can be out of debt by a certain point.
Paying towards the debt?
Yes, when I should be out of baby step 2.
Do you have margin right now?
I have my numbers. So I take home about $2,500 a month from my primary job. I just this week started a part-time for nights and weekends job where I'll probably be taking home about $600, $800 extra a month.
Great.
And I am doing DoorDash on occasion as well, so probably about $100 to $300 a month from that. As far as what I have in debt, I have just under $42,000 to go. So
what kind of debt?
That is $4,200 is credit cards, $32,000 is student loans, and I also have a car fleece for about $5,500 still to go.
Okay, cool.
I'm about halfway through that.
So let's get to your budgeting question. You can change a lot of the dates the bills are due on, and so if you're experiencing that, you can go in online or call them and say, hey, I want this bill to come out on the 16th, and I want this bill to come out on the 18th, and that way you can control some of these variables in your budget. Do you have any buffer in your checking account?
Well, that's what I'm also trying to figure out is how to put that in my budget so that I have leftover money at the end of the month. Because I know you said you probably need about 100 to 300 as a cushion. So I'm trying to figure out how to play that so I can just save that in my checking account first and foremost.
So you said your take-home pay is $2,500. What are your expenses if you're doing this budget? Have you added that up? If you add in all your minimum payments on your debts.
Minimum payments on my debts is about $550, and I've been trying to pay about $850 to $900 a month.
Okay, so you have about $300-400 of margin right now to throw at the debt.
Yes.
And you're going to start these side hustles, which will bring in another $1,000, and so that's going to really speed up this process. I mean, that'll make it happen 3 times as fast.
That's what I'm hoping.
I love it. So, are you using every dollar right now, or you have a different budgeting method that's working for you?
Yes, I started Financial Peace, and I'm using the premium every dollar.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Well, I was going to gift it to you, so you beat me to the punch there.
Well, thank you.
And so your second question was what?
So I just want to have a goal. I know it has it in the app, but I just feel like it's telling me 2027, and I just feel like that is unreasonable.
What is your yearly income?
Well, I just have my primary. I don't know about the others, but my primary is about just under $49,000.
Okay.
What do you do?
I am in accounts receivable, so I post a lot of payments.
Why do you do accounts receivable?
Why? I don't know.
Do you love it?
I don't hate it. I am a money person.
If I said, do you love your spouse? You're like, I don't hate them. Hey, honey, do you love me? I don't hate you, John. I don't hate you. Actually, I have gotten that response before. Here's what I'm saying. Money goes one of two ways. You get more on the front end or you stop spending less on the back end, right? And so you're a money person. You know how money works. I'd love to see you double your income. Whether you go be an assistant CFO or go. Yeah, but your whole call, you're asking you're a money person. You're an accounts receivable. You have a degree in this stuff. And you're asking us.
Well, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay. So you've got experience. Let me say that. You've got experience in it. You're not suffering from knowledge issues. You're suffering from confidence issues. Where does this come from?
I'm not sure. Part of it is I feel like I'm not in the right career path.
Yes.
My $32,000 in student loan debt is for a degree I'm not really using.
What's your degree?
Part of that, my degree was in media communications with public relations as my track.
Okay.
So,
can I tell you, the accountants that I've worked with, and there's been a bajillion of them, that can talk to me and explain what they're actually doing, it's invaluable. And they make their way up the ranks. The two CFOs here at Ramsey are two of the coolest, funniest, hilarious guys, and they know how Excel works, which makes them like unicorns, right?
Right.
And so you have a degree in media communication. You have a degree in communicating with other people, and you know how numbers work. See what I'm getting at? You didn't waste your degree. In fact, you've got a set of skills now that people in your field are short on. That makes you very valuable. See what I'm saying? I'm trying to find ways to give you confidence here. And not this, I don't even know how to, what's the math problem? You do math for a living, right? I don't know what's holding you back.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just don't know. I love the place where I work, and so I guess I have some hesitance in finding new employment.
You can love another place, too.
You know what you don't love? Going home every night, not able to sleep because you owe so much money.
Yes.
And you don't love getting off an accounting job that you've been working on 5 days a week to only work weekends and nights and then drive on Sunday mornings because you're broke.
Right.
And Danielle, as part of your membership, you have access to the Debt Snowball tool. So start plugging in all of your numbers and add in that extra income. And I guarantee you it's not going to be 5 years for you to pay off this debt. Looking at these numbers and what your new take-home pay is going to be, even if you stayed in this career, my guess is it takes 2 years.
Okay.
And that's conservative. I think you can do better than that. So make it a personal competition with yourself to see how much more. Maybe you need to recheck all of your insurance coverage and see, am I overpaying? Go check with Xander. Maybe go make sure you're not getting a tax refund. We need to change our withholding to put more money back in our budget every single month. So start doing those things. Make sure you've paused investing so that you're not having a money leak over there while you're trying to pay off debt. Go do a budget audit, get super nerdy, which you know how to do that really well.
Right.
And I think you're going to feel the progress when you go, where else can I start shaving some money? I'm not going to eat out. I'm going to go to Aldi instead of Publix. Just get creative with it and see what kind of traction you make. And it kind of gets addictive, John.
Can I give you a secret, like a life hack?
Yes, bring it on.
Confidence is not something you think yourself into. Confidence is something you achieve your way into. I'm going to practice these things. So I want you to do a 30-day sprint where you're going to work like crazy and save as much as you can. Don't go out to eat. Don't go do crazy things. Don't rent a movie. Just do 30 days and then send that check and see how that feels. And that should give you a hit of confidence, and it's going to grow over time the more you stay invested in this game.
Beautifully said. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. My thanks to John Deloney, all the folks in the booth, and you, America. We'll be back with you before you know it. Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube. From Ramsey Network, this is The Ramsey Show, where we help you get control of your money, get ahead in your career, and get on the path to living well. I'm George Camel, your host, joined today by Dr. John Deloney, and we are excited, even pumped, to take your call. That's right, 888-825-5225. We'll talk about your life, your money, your mental health, your relationships, your boundaries or lack thereof. We're here for you, America, and Hannah joins us in Williamsburg, Pennsylvania. Hannah, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Fantastic. What's your question today?
My question is, my husband and I are currently in a rent-to-own situation with my parents, a property that my parents currently own. My husband just recently, I guess he's been listening to different financial advisors, and I guess some of them advise not to do that, to go to the bank and get a loan out and like pay it out and then just have a loan through the bank. And we just been talking about it recently, and I was wondering what your guys' advice would be.
What's the agreement with the family as far as purchasing this home?
As in...
You said rent to own, so what are the terms of that? Are you guys paying market rent, and then at some point it just becomes yours?
Yeah, at this point it's like there's a set price that we've agreed to, and we just kind of like keep our own bookwork as to when we have got that paid off, and then when it's paid off, it's ours in that sense. And then we would go to the bank and do the paperwork to switch it over.
Oh, so is at a certain point you go get the loan and it becomes yours?
No, you're not talking about bank. You're talking about going to the title company and having it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Because you kept talking about getting a loan, but I'm confused because
so that's what he was like. I guess he was thinking. Some financial advisors were saying it's not smart to do like an agreement just among family to like go and get a loan from the bank and say pay our parents out for it, and then just owe the bank money and slowly pay off.
Yeah, it does get messy when it's family. And you're kind of paying into something that's not yours.
We've never had an issue, and my parents have done this with my other siblings. Like my parents own a couple of rental properties, and they've done this with them. So I mean, I've seen it work out, So I don't know. That's why I thought. Well,
how long are you in debt to your parents?
So we've been here about 2 years. I think we have about just over 8 more years if we just do the bare minimum payments right now to finish paying it off.
And are they charging you no interest?
Yeah, no interest.
Okay.
So what does that amount to? The amount you will have paid over that time?
Currently, I think about right now we have about just over $60,000 left.
Okay. I'm just wondering, are you paying more into it than the home is actually worth?
No.
Or is this an incredible deal for you guys
because
you paid
deal,
in
no interest?
Yeah. Did you pay in $100,000 and the home's worth $300,000?
they're charging us like they bought it and they remodeled, like they did some upgrades and stuff. So they pretty much just charged us what, in a sense, I guess, what they paid for it, just plus the upgrades that they did. Nothing.
But that doesn't, like, I could care less about that if they bought the house for $500,000, they put $200,000 in it, and then they're $700,000 in it, but the house is worth $350,000. They're ripping you off, right? So No,
it's not.
Okay.
It's not. I'm trying to even think what the original set price was.
That's okay. We trust you. Like you're getting a great deal on it, and it's an interest-free deal.
It is a good deal. It's
okay.
not.
Yeah,
like,
I trust the integrity of the parents.
I don't have to worry about that at all. That's not at all.
But you're asking, should we go get a loan today to be done with the parent side and just give them the $60,000 and say, hey, we're good. It's ours.
Yeah,
now.
I guess a lot of people have just been in his ear saying no.
That makes me feel better because then it's actually mine. My home's on. My name is on the title, and if something happens, it's my house, and I wasn't paying into this for 8 more years, all for something to fall through.
Yeah, I think that's where I think he's more caught up.
Yes. So I would guess that he's got more of a problem with well, I'll just ask you a hard question. We'll just do this here. Do your parents speak into how you raise kids, what you're doing? Does he comment on your husband's work? Like, oh, I wouldn't be driving a Ford. I'd be right? Is there a participation in his life in that way?
No.
Okay.
Actually not. I feel like my parents are very much the opposite.
Okay.
I mean, and he would tell you, I feel like that's his thing. Like when we talk about it, he's always like, I never feel like they would be like that. And I never feel, but he's always like, I see this happen with other people.
Right.
And I think that's more of our hiccup. Like we've seen it or hear things that, somebody else has done a rent to own. And then, something happened in the parental child relationship that it bit them later.
That's right. Or you're going to have a kid and then it's like, oh no, my kid is not going to that school. And it's like, well, that is the school. And now we've got a whole mess. And it's like, well, I'm taking my house.
I mean, we just had our first child within the last 2 months.
Okay.
I mean, we still haven't seen any hiccups, but
Sure. So here's what me and George are saying. They're not going to guarantee that there's hiccups. Your parents may be amazing. They may be wonderful. Our show wouldn't exist if people weren't following plans that everybody else told them to do and they went sideways.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so, I'll let George tell you the math of it. I think there's no way to go forward without a hard conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This would have been a way easier conversation on the front end, saying, hey, we'd love to buy this house, but we want it to be ours. And so we'd love to buy it at the price you're offering, but we want to go to a bank and do it. Now y'all are a couple of years into it, and you're kind of into it, right?
Okay.
And
do you love the house? Do you want to live there?
Yeah. See, now, and this is and it's a house that's been in my family. Like my grandfather built it, so it's kind of like we wanted to keep it in the family. It's kind of why we did it.
Okay. Well, if I'm in your shoes, I would go write them a check and go get a loan and pay this thing on our own and have our name on the title.
Okay.
And how much are you guys in debt at all, other than the mortgage?
Yeah, we have a car loan.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, our A1 is getting rid of the car loan.
Yeah, that's what we've been working on right now.
Okay.
How much do y'all make a year?
So that's a little bit different because I just stopped working when we had our son. I'm gonna guess he's the only one working. I'm thinking, and he just got a raise, so don't quote me, but I'm thinking we're gonna be just over between 60 to 70 this year.
Okay.
And you think it's going to take you 8 years to pay off $60,000?
Well, that's what it was set.
Okay.
What is your rent every month?
Minimum payments.
What's the rent amount every month?
$600.
Oh, okay. So this is real low rent you're paying, which is why it's taking so long to get it to $60,000.
Yeah, so that's why we were knocking out other debt. We got our credit card debt away, and we're working on our car, and then it was going to be like, okay, then we were going to knock out the house. But if we just did bare minimum.
Yeah, this is a snail's pace. If you go get a loan for $60,000 from your local credit union, and you go hard at that thing, and you start paying $1,000, $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month, this thing's going to be gone within a few years instead of 8.
Mm-hmm. And George, you can push back and say you're an idiot, Deloney. Which
I would never do that.
We do that off air quite a bit. If you could come up with a mathematical way that in 2 years this is going to be done, and go tell your mom and dad, hey, in 2 years we're going to accelerate this. I'm going to go back to work. We need some help with childcare because we don't want to be in Hawk Seal anymore. And your parents are doing great, and everybody's doing well together, and it's interest free. I wouldn't have a problem with it, but beyond 18, 24 months, go get a loan and just simplify your life.
Yeah, it's a little too squishy for me because at any point they can go, nope, still our house technically.
That's
yeah, that just makes me, I wouldn't sleep well at night. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Guys, with the rising cost of everything these days, a lot of folks are worried about having enough money in their bank accounts to get through the month. The good news is no matter where you're at with money today, and no matter the state of the economy, you can get on a path to building wealth. So at our Building Wealth live events we've been doing, you'll learn simple, common sense principles to build real, lasting wealth. And this tour is blowing up. We've already sold out 2 nights, and the rest of these events are on track to sell out real soon. So if you're thinking about joining us, don't wait to the last minute because your chance might be gone. So we're going to Phoenix, September 12th. That's a new date because we sold out the following night, the 13th. So if you want to join us in Phoenix, September 12th is the date. Sacramento on November 1st, sold out. Minneapolis, still open November 10th. San Antonio on November 15th. And passes start at just $25, or you can get a 4-pack starting at $60. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events to reserve your seats now. You can hang out with Dr. John Deloney, Ken Coleman, Rachel Cruz, Dave Ramsey, and I'll be there too. And so we'd love to meet you. It's been so fun going on the road, John, and getting some FaceTime with these people and hearing their stories.
I love it.
And there's some electric energy in that room.
Yeah.
And you and Ken do a little pre-show, if you will, with some awesome content about mental health, work, relationships, and how it all ties in to building wealth.
Yeah, it's a blast.
You don't want to miss it. RamseySolutions.com/events. Jay joins us up next in Atlanta. Jay, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. What's going on?
I'm weighing the option of potentially going back to school for my MBA, and just wanted to get your insights and thoughts. I'm a little bit kind of senior in my career. I have good income, and me and my wife are on 4, 5, and 6, and just want to see what y'all's thoughts are and things that I should be considering.
So why an MBA?
So currently I'm in the accounting field, and I work in a large public company. And I'm wanting to more transition to like an FP&A or financial planning and analysis or strategic role, so to say.
Do you have a role in mind that is MBA required? Like I got a friend who's an exec with a large company, and they asked him to join the senior tier, but it's MBA as a minimum. And so he's having to go back and get an MBA so that he can join. Like, I don't care how much experience you have. This is just a credential to get into the door. And I'm inviting you into the door. Is it one of those kind of things, or do you think this is going to differentiate you and you just want this credential in your back pocket?
I think it's going to differentiate me. I just started a new role at a new company, and was kind of exploring some career opportunities within it, and kind of found in talking to some folks that, transitioning from accounting to some of the other roles is a little bit more difficult. So thinking that I might have this degree might help me make that jump a little bit easier.
I'm just wondering if there's other, financial planning certifications that you could do that are faster, cheaper, that don't require an MBA. Because in my experience, like John mentioned, there's some requirements, but a lot of the times people kind of feel stuck and they just go, well, I'm going to go back and get my MBA and hope things work out. And so I don't want you going down that path to where this is a waste of time, doesn't increase your income, doesn't get you to where you want to be. So I would just do some more research and have conversations with those employers or check the requirements. And a lot of times, sometimes the MBA is a nice to have, but increasingly, I think they're less important unless you're in one of those fields like John mentioned.
Here's the last data I looked at, Jay, and I've been out of university setting for a couple of years now, okay? The last data I looked is if you can afford it, if you pay cash for it, and you can go to a excellent school and you are committed to getting involved with your class, okay? Like you make close, deep connections with your classmates and your professors, that it's an extraordinary buy, okay? If you are if you are trying to learn how to do some things, and this is an avenue that you want to take in an adjunct to the work that you're doing every day, and you can afford it, it's a good investment. If you're going to go take $250,000 in loans out and mortgage a job that you don't even have yet, it's insanity. If you're going to just do the bare minimum to get the credentials so you can move on with your life, it's insanity. Okay?
Okay.
That's what I would say. So don't go borrow a bunch of money. Is that ultimately what you're asking us?
Yeah, it was going to be cash free. We were going to do it. We were going to cash flow it. We don't have any debt other than our mortgage, and make a pretty good income to kind of cash flow.
And getting it, I would sit down with some of your senior leaders and just say, hey, what does this jump look like? Just get some clarity there. But if you're in cash flow, I don't have a problem with it. Just make sure y'all know what you're investing in and make sure you go, if you're going to do it, go all in.
Okay.
As our friend Ken Coleman would say, make sure that your education matches the goal. And so that's what I'm trying to confirm here, that it's the right path for him instead of just a blank.
You said something important, George. People often just get stuck in their career and they think, well, I'm just going to go get a graduate degree and maybe that will be and often it's not. Often you find yourself highly indebted or you've just spent 3 or 4 years. Like when I was in education and I knew I want to learn more about mental health, getting a PhD in counseling was an avenue towards becoming very skilled at a particular thing.
Very specific purpose.
That's right.
Love it. All right. Kevin joins us up next in Miami. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Welcome to Miami.
I apologize for that,
yes.
Kevin.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Sure.
I've been a big fan of you guys for a while now. So my question, it's more of an advice, is on what I should or we should do with my fiance on saving for our wedding and setting up after we move in.
Okay. What's the issue currently?
So, well, right now we're both going to school. We're both working full time. So, as you might know, Miami's a pretty expensive area to live in.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So, we're going to school and working. We can't really do double shifts, kind of, since we're doing full time. Hopefully, by next year, we will be graduating from college. So, that should help a lot. But at the moment, I'm not sure. Right now, I'm doing 15% of my income towards the savings or towards retirement.
50% or 15?
15, sorry.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys out of debt?
Yeah.
Both of you?
Well, I am out of debt. I finished paying off about 19 grand, which was my car maybe 6 months ago.
Awesome.
Following the baby steps. And so right now, well, once we move in or we get married, the only debt we'll really have will be her car, if we even keep it, because right now we're talking, we have decided, or she has decided to sell the car, to get rid of the debt and get maybe a beater car, less.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Car.
So you're trying to make sure you cash flow this wedding, and so you're wondering how does this all play into it?
Yeah.
When is the wedding?
We're hoping the wedding date is April 28th.
Okay. So we've got some time.
Yeah.
Do you know how much it's going to cost?
Well, we're doing everything ourselves. We're doing very budget, very humble, I guess. It's costing about $13,000 total for the wedding.
And is that on you two to pay for all of that? No family help?
Well, they have helped us with about $6,000 each, together, both of them.
And you still owe 13 on your end?
No, it'll be the difference.
Okay, so that I'm just trying to get on paper, what is the goal? The goal right now is $7,000 by April to make sure we pay all the vendors and deposits and all that good stuff. And so then the question becomes, can I save up $7,000 while doing all this other stuff, while going to school, while working full-time, while investing? And if the answer is no, then it's okay to pause right now and stack up cash so that we don't go into debt for this wedding.
Yeah, correct.
But I feel like you've been going hard. You paid off that car, $19,000. You could save up $7,000 between now and April and probably still invest 15%, right?
Yeah, I think so. And we also
say with confidence, Kevin, yes. No confidence. Yes. Okay, that didn't instill a lot, but I'll take it, Kevin. I will take it. I believe in you, man. You call us back if you need help. And once you guys are married, combine bank accounts and then start attacking her debt after the wedding day. There you go. Thanks so much for the call. This is The Ramsey Show.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, host of the Fine Print and Entree Leadership Podcast, joined by Dr. John Deloney, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, which has been just exploding in popularity, John. So that's congratulations on that.
Pretty wild.
You can catch it on YouTube, podcast, you name it. And all of those shows that I just mentioned are on the Ramsey Network, and you can find them on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, and I encourage you to do so. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. Tyler joins us up next in Anchorage, Alaska. Tyler, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, so just wanted to call in. I'll be moving. I'll be relocating with my company here in the next couple of weeks. I was intending on buying a house. That fell through. So the equity in my house is just going to be sitting in the bank account. And I've got a rental set up, and I'm trying to make the decision of, pursuing a home purchase still for myself and my family, or, taking the dive and paying off my only outstanding debt, which is my student loans still. So just kind of wanted to get some advice from you guys on that.
How much do you have in student loans?
I've got $47,000 still outstanding.
Okay. And what's your income?
I got, it's about $150 a year. That's gross, about $8,000 take home each month.
Fantastic. And you're talking about your family here and moving. Where are you moving to from Alaska?
We're moving to the Midwest. We're going to Ohio.
Okay. What's the net profits of the home sale going to be?
So it's going to be around 100 and I think 120, 130, something like that.
Okay. How much money do you guys have in the bank outside of that?
We've got somewhere around $20,000 to $25,000 in savings. So,
okay.
And then bit of personal information, but possibly heading into a divorce, heading down there too. So certainly a hard time. Yeah, thank you for that. Certainly a hard time. And I want to get on my feet and make sure I do all the right things. And I think, it'd certainly be nice to have one less, thing over my head and get rid of all the debts and finally be debt free. As I've had this for about 5 years now, paying off slowly. So.
Well, regardless of an impending divorce, I would tell you to get rid of all your debt before going into another home purchase. That's going to make it a lot less stressful. So with that 120, 130 you get from the home sale, we're going to clean up that student loan debt, which is still going to leave you with, what, 70 grand or so?
Yep, something like that.
Which will become your new kind of down payment savings. I would leave the 2025 there as your emergency fund, and you could be going into a storm. And so I think it's really wise to rent for a while until you know what's next for you. Go rent for a year, and then save up on top of that. You got a big pile of cash. Once you know what's next for you, you can buy a house in the future.
Tyler, does your spouse have an equity claim to this? To part of this money?
Yeah, it would be split almost entirely. I think with our savings and the home equity, we'd each kind of walk away with $80,000 to $90,000 once everything's settled. So
okay. Tyler, you can listen to this. I'm asking George this question. This is going to go counter to what I've said over and over and over again. So tell me, punch holes in this if I'm wrong. And again, I say this tongue in cheek, but the latest word is there's going to be some sort of announcement on what the final plan with the student loan forgiveness will be coming in the next couple of weeks. I would, if this was me, I would wait 2 weeks before I just find out what they say is going to happen. I have an idea of what's going to happen, and it's not going to be to wipe out all $47,000 of this dude's loans, of Tyler's loans. But is that worth waiting for that, or is it? I'm just not giving that credence anymore.
I mean, I wouldn't give it credence, but there's not going to be a lot of harm in waiting 2 weeks either.
Okay.
My guess is they just kick the can down the road. They say we're going to forgive this very specific portion of people who got scammed or this level of debt. It's not going to make a huge dent. But if you want to wait 2 weeks and then pay them off, either way, regardless of the divorce, I'm going to pay these off as part of this move and part of the home sale to clean up my mess and have a solid financial foundation, because you're going to need that regardless of what happens next with this move and the divorce. But yeah, I mean, if you want to wait 2 weeks, it would blow my mind if they were like, no matter how much debt you have, it's wiped away.
America, we're clearing the decks, right?
It's only happened once, and it was Jesus who did it. And the White House ain't wiping nothing away. So
sure.
We're wishing you the best, Tyler, with what's next, man. That's a lot of life change that's about to happen. But the good news is you are going to clean up this debt real fast. You've got a great income, and we're wishing you the best with this move and this new career thing and this divorce situation. That's tough. Isaiah joins us up next in Oklahoma City. Isaiah, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys.
How can John and I help?
So I had a question about purchasing a semi-truck.
Okay. Is this for your business?
Right. I'm currently a local...
No, George. He's going to drive it around the neighborhood.
John, stranger things have happened.
I'd probably make more money. But anyways, so it's essentially like buying a house almost. I mean, they cost upwards of $200,000. The only thing, I guess it's like a 20% down payment as well, but the loan term is more like a car, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And I just wanted you guys' advice if that would be a wise decision right now at my age or not.
What are you doing now for work?
I'm a local CDL driver, truck driver.
Okay. How old are you?
26.
Do you have any debt currently?
Yes, I've got about $5,000 student loan, $15,000 on a car, and about $140,000 on my mortgage.
Okay. Well, you're not going to like my answer, but it is not to buy a $200,000 semi-truck and go into debt for that.
But hey, like you just met us, and you didn't really meet us on the phone. Please, whatever you do, don't take out a $200,000 mortgage against a depreciating asset, please. Okay. And this is future you talking to yourself through me and George. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this.
It's going to be really hard to get a business off the ground when you have, $400,000 in debt looming on your shoulders as you try to kickstart a brand new business at 26. So what's wrong with your current job? It sounds like you're not happy there.
No, it's got its ups and downs. The pay's not bad. I'm home every night. I just, if you bought your own truck, you could possibly be just successful and just make just money on end, I guess.
You just said it perfectly. Possibly.
Yeah.
And the other side of possibly is you can have $400,000 in debt as a 26-year-old, and you think you know what stress is. You have $400,000 worth of bank sitting on top of you, man, and it will take your soul.
Right. And that's why I just wanted to hear from you guys, because I didn't know if that is a lot. Almost $500,000, I guess. But if that would be any kind of exception, just because you could make. Okay.
I wouldn't take out a $200,000 loan to buy a burger stand, or I wouldn't take a $200,000 loan to buy a lawn business. Like, I'm not going to take out a loan to buy a business because I don't know when the next COVID's sitting around the corner, man. I don't know when the next government regulation on a thing is going to come into. I don't know when gas is going to go up to $17 an hour, and I've got my own, $17 a mile or whatever. That's not really a calculation for gas, but you know what I mean. I don't know any of those things, but the bank still gets their money every month. And I'm just not going to live like that.
We run our business here at Ramsey Solutions completely debt-free at the speed of cash. And that's what you need to be doing as well if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur. And so that means we're going to clean up our personal mess here. We're going to get rid of the student loan, the car loan. The mortgage will fall into baby step 6. But if you want to do this, it means it might be 7 years from now when we save up $100,000 and we buy a used semi in cash to kickstart this business.
Hey, and I think it's a good call out, George. Most people don't know. Dave built half this building. He just built half. One wing. It was just like a one-winged airplane.
But we'll do the rest when we have the cash.
When we have cash, we'll do the rest. And then we got the cash, do the rest. But it's literally at the speed of cash, right?
Yeah, and you can do it. I'm going to send you a copy of Dave's book, Entree Leadership. It's wisdom from the trenches in business, and part of that talks about how to do this with financial peace as you kickstart a business. So hang on the line. Austin will send you a copy of Entree Leadership. Thanks for the call. What's up, America? You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined by Dr. John Deloney. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Their 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, as John and I are prone to do, they will remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
All right, the question comes from Kate in Kentucky. Kate writes, I'm 23 years old. I started working in banking at 16 and never went to college because I didn't enjoy school and wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm not married and I have no kids. After working through my mental health challenges of the past 18 months, I realize I have a lot of work potential and I think it would be a good idea for me to go to college. My job will pay 100% for A's, 90% for B's, and 80% for C's, up to $3,000 a year. I've never seen that before.
Fascinating.
It's how grandparents do it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Some incentive.
Up front, I would need to purchase a laptop, then pay for the books and anything above the $3,000 along the way. I'm currently in baby step 4 and wonder if I should stop retirement contributions altogether, just go down to the match, or get a second job to cash flow college. So there's a lot of unknown variables in here, like how much do you make a year? Do you have a stable place to live? And all that kind of stuff.
But we do know she's out of debt and she's investing, has an emergency fund if she's saying she's on baby step 4.
There you go.
That's good.
But I do like this. I do like I didn't want to go to school right away, so I went to the workforce. And now I've got a couple of years in, and now I found a thing that I think I like, and now I'm ready to double down on it, which I love.
That's great self-awareness at 23. Most people realize that at 43.
Exactly.
And they have a lot of regret and feel like they wasted a lot of time.
That's right.
But
my recommendation would be to go begin at a community college.
Yes.
$3,000 can get you a long way at a community college and begin to get a lot of this work underneath you, and then begin to figure out what comes next after that.
Yeah, my personal goal would for her, I like her second option of getting a second job to cash flow college and going to a school that's as affordable as possible.
Right.
Because it sounds like she's not quite sure what the path is, and community college is a great place to you're not wasting time. You're getting all your prerequisites in. You can always transfer to a different school and finish out a 4-year degree if you want to do that. But I love the idea of her continuing to invest. I mean, she's been working since 16. Who knows how long she's been investing?
Yeah.
And how that's going to set her up for success to be a baby steps millionaire very early in life. So
is
my
it okay
personal goal
to
would be
stop
second job.
retirement contributions while you're doing this?
It would be if it means the option is to go into debt for your student loan. I would say, okay, we're going to do anything we can to pause right now, and this is kind of a storm. We need to make sure we cash flow education. And if that means going down to the match for a temporary period of time, I would be okay with it. But I love the idea of the second job to cash flow it. Now, it's going to be a lot, going to college and working 2 jobs, so we may have to scale that back down. But if the job covers $3,000 and that covers community college, that solves a whole lot of problems. We can focus on the job and school. So thanks for the question, Kate. Appreciate that. Christine joins us up next in Minneapolis. Christine, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How can John and I help?
I'm calling. I have a question for you. I recently inherited some money, and I would like to use some of it, maybe about half of it, to buy a house and pay cash. I have a financial advisor that is telling me to just put 20% down on the house and then invest the rest with him.
I could have guessed that was going to be the response.
Christine, that's bananas.
Do you trust your financial advisor?
Well, it's a new financial advisor. I'd never really worked with one before. But with this inheritance, I thought I better get the advice.
Okay. Well, how much is the inheritance?
Just under $1 million.
Wow. And where did it come from?
The death of my father.
Oh, I'm sorry. How recent was this?
Last fall.
What was his name?
David.
Good guy?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
He left quite the legacy.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 53.
53. Incredible.
So what's your financial situation right now? Do you have any debt? Do you have money in the bank?
I have a 401k, no debt, and I have a pretty decent job.
Okay. And you have an emergency fund already?
No, but I thought I would build it up with that money.
That's quite the emergency fund. So do you have a home currently?
Well, I'm recently divorced, so I have to go out and buy my own place now on my own.
Okay. Are all the I's dotted and T's crossed on the divorce?
Yes.
Okay. So
Hey, can we pause real quick before you answer, George?
Yes.
Christine.
Yes.
I'm smiling here because you know why? You're really smart. And you're coming out of one tragedy followed by another tragedy. And somewhere along the way, probably a lot of different times, you've been convinced that you're not smart or that you shouldn't trust yourself, or you should trust other people. And like you're just telling me, George, you know exactly what you should do. And yet you ran into a financial advisor that was giving you bananas, bonkers information. So George is going to walk you through this, but I want you, from this moment forward, to never again believe that you're not smart. Is that fair?
Sure. Thank you.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes. You are really smart, and you've done a good job, and your dad did a great job with you. You're lucky, and he was lucky. Both of you. Fair?
Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Beautifully said, John. So as far as your situation, Christine, I think it's very wise to buy a reasonable house in cash. You can invest the rest of that money. and I would fire a financial advisor today and say, hey, thanks so much for all the advice. I'm going to be moving on.
Do it in song, Christine. Just sing.
That would be nice. But I would connect with one of our SmartVestor pros at RamseySolutions.com. They've got the heart of a teacher, and they'll actually help educate you on why they're saying what they're saying, and they're not going to just say, oh, Christine, you should put 20. No, you shouldn't buy a house in cash. They're going to say, fist bump, that's awesome that you bought a house in cash. How can we help you make the most and maximize all of this wealth that you've amassed? And that's what I want for you from a financial advisor. That's what you're looking for as you start interviewing them. So that's what I would encourage you to do. What does a reasonable house look like for you?
Well, 2 years ago I was looking at anything kind of in the 300s, but now with the way the home prices have inflated, those comparable homes are now in the 4s and close to 5. So,
okay, are you going to stay in the area that you're in?
Yes.
Okay. One of my mentors who taught me about counseling and about especially dealing with life after trauma. One of his rules was 6 to 9 months, 6 months to a year after something hard, like the loss of a loved one, after a divorce. Don't make any wild major decisions. But if you're staying in the same area, an area you've been in a long time, you know this area, right? So this isn't a wild decision for you. This is where your life is. Is that right?
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Okay.
And when it comes to a large sum of money, sometimes it helps to have some balance because you may feel out of balance going and buying a house right now. And so I like to look at it through the lens of give, save, spend. So may we give some to a charity you're passionate about, your local church, wherever you want to give. Bless someone with that. We're going to save some. We're going to invest a chunk of this, and we're going to spend it. Spend it on Christine. What would Christine want to do? Would Christine want to go on a trip? Does she need to upgrade the car? Does she need a mani-pedi? I don't know what that is for you, but enjoy it too. I think your dad would have wanted that. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
As the dad of a 6-year-old little girl, I could think of nothing else than I'm able to leave her close to $1 million one day when I pass away, and she's coming off a situation where she's not safe and she's exposed. And I've set her up in a position to go buy herself a home with cash. I can't think of a cooler thing that I could, as a dad, I could leave my daughter other than character and love and all that stuff.
It's incredible.
Do you think your dad would be honored by you going to buy yourself a home?
Oh, yes, he'd love that.
Yeah.
That's great. How much do you have in your 401k, Christine?
About close to $700,000.
That's incredible. Well, you can go ahead and max out your 401k for the year while you're at it. Just to high five yourself. I mean, you're doing so great. So proud of you. Thank you so much for trusting us with this call. We appreciate it. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. My thanks to Dr. John Deloney, all the guys and gals in the booth, Austin and Will and Andrew and Kelly and you, America. We appreciate you listening. We'll be back real soon.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
From Ramsey Network, this is The Ramsey Show, where we help you get control of your money, get ahead in your career, and get on the path to living well. I'm George Camel, host of the Fine Print and Entree Leadership Podcast, joined today by Dr. John Deloney, best-selling author and all-around good guy, and we're excited to take your call today. 888-825-5225. Let's talk life, money, relationships, boundaries, mental health.
Let's do it.
You had thoughts about that? Add that to your resume. All-around good guy.
It is. That's the on the top of my resume. It's got my name, and underneath it in Comic Sans, it just says all around good guy.
Way below is 2 PhDs, blah blah blah.
None of that matters.
Yeah. Okay. Love it.
And on George's resume, it says George Camel, and underneath it says wears denim and corduroy in August.
And self-proclaimed Renaissance man. That's on there too.
No thanks, Tom Hanks.
Well, let's go to the phones. That's what this show's all about. Marcy joins us up next in Jackson, Mississippi. Marcy, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. It's so cool to get to talk to y'all.
We are honored to talk to you. How can we help today?
I've got a weird question. I'm going to give you a little bit of background. Otherwise, it's going to sound kind of crazy.
Marcy, this is what we do for a living.
John only has weird answers.
Just bring it.
All right. Well, my husband was delivered from 20 years of drug addiction and has been clean for 3 years.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yes. God's restored our broken family, but our finances are still pretty broken. During his active addiction, he would take unnecessary ER visits. He would take out payday loans. It's just messed us up. So now we're ready to clean up the mess together. We don't know what he owes because no one's actively collecting, and he had hidden the bills and destroyed a lot. So I have no idea. I have an idea, and the number scares me because when I checked it a few years ago, it was, we're heading up toward $200,000.
So can I ask you?
How do you find out what you owe when you don't know what you owe?
Why didn't y'all deal with it then?
He was still in active addiction. He was still hemorrhaging money out of our family. We separated soon after that, and I went into survival mode.
Good deal. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Where are you guys at today as it stands financially?
I am working. He turned in very last paper for his seminary degree today. He will be looking for a teaching job ASAP.
Okay. At a seminary?
I went full time. Well, he wants to do college. He wants to go for his PhD, but he wants to be teaching too. He agrees that he needs to be contributing to the finances.
Okay. Yes, I agree too. We all agree on that.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very difficult to find just a college teaching job right out of the gate. So he's going to need to have another plan. And I'm coming from the college world, okay? Hired a number of people through that system. It's going to be a tough sled. It's going to be a tough sledding ahead. So he might want to find a high school teaching job. He might want to find another job that he can do in the meantime while he's sending out resumes. It's like school starts next week or in 2 weeks across the country. And so faculty hiring is on a cycle, and he's probably looking at next year before he would land even a part-time gig.
Yeah. He also builds computers, so he's looking at stuff like that. He's helped looking for jobs building web pages and just kind of checking out adjunct positions for January.
Good deal. That's wise right there. There you go.
So what is the current debt that you know of that you guys have as a household?
As a household, I know for sure that together we owe about $65,000, probably more like $85,000 in student loans with his stuff. And then mine and the kids' medical is going to run probably under $1,000. As far as what I know for sure, I mean, when I added up all of his bills back in 2017, it was hard to figure it out because some of the bills would come in and they would be like adding on to a previous bill. So I tried to weed all that out, but when I finished adding it all up, plus the student loans on his side, it was around $150. I know it's higher than that now.
Okay. Do you still have any of those bills?
I don't. When we separated, I packed it all up in a box and I handed it to him, and I said, I don't care what you do with it.
But you know where those bills came from, right? You know, hey, it was from this hospital, it was from this lender.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know which hospitals. I don't know. They
will have sold it by now. They'll have sold it to some debt collector at some point.
Yeah.
So I would start there of what you know and go to all those lenders, go to the hospital and say, hey, I want to make sure that our accounts are clean. Can you look up our name? Let us know, bring any documentation because you guys have nothing. And so what you need right now is to try to find all the documentation you can find from all of these places to get a real picture of what this adds up to. Because some of it may have disappeared into the ether.
They may have written it off. I'd go pull a credit report on all three credit reporting agencies too. And they're going to tell you what outstanding debts you have, what other companies are claiming you owe them.
And you can pull those for free. I believe it was once a year. They may have increased that to where you can pull it any time with COVID stuff, but you can definitely pull those for free. I would do that on both of you to get a real picture of what is out there as far as documentation.
Okay.
That would be my first plan. You also have the pile of debt you know about. So either way, we're attacking a bunch of debt, and we're going to try to stockpile as much money as we can, which is going to help if he starts working soon.
And I'm happy to talk to him, whether he wants to call this show or call my show, or you can talk to him you can talk to him via me and George here. But this is not the season to wait for the dream job. He needs to get his butt to get to work. Okay, he's run the family into a significant financial hole, and I'm proud of the growth he's done. I'm proud of the healing he's done. He needs to get his butt to work. He needs to start making a lot of money, right?
What is your current household income?
I went full time this year. I was homeschooling my kids, but right now we're still homeschooling, but just not doing it very well. I'm going to make about $100,000 this year, and that's a significant increase.
Well, that's great news. I was hoping you had a big shovel because you got a big mess to clean up.
It is.
What does childcare look like?
Well, he's been childcare. So because I'm a nurse, so I can work odd hours. So we're still going to tag team and just be home with the kids because we don't live close to any town.
Okay.
So it's hard to get childcare.
Can you work any double shifts, overtime, anything like that?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think your income right now, with the way you can ramp it up, is going to be more helpful than anything he could bring in for the short term.
Right.
Hey, Marcy, can I poke on something for a second?
Sure.
You're still carrying this family right now.
Yeah.
That's getting real heavy, isn't it?
It's been heavy for so long, I just don't even know what to do with it. I mean, it just is.
It is. You're right, and you've done what you had to do. But when he said, "Can I come back?" and you said yes, and it's going to be different, and this is what I need, and he said, "I'm all in," you haven't held him to that standard. Is that fair?
That's fair.
You've given him a lot of grace to heal, which is great. Now it's time for him to take a significant chunk of the burden you've been carrying for a long time. Cool?
Yeah. Yes, cool.
Okay. Conflict deferred is conflict amplified. Okay? Stop being a peacekeeper now. Now that he's out of school, he's going to get his butt into work and he's going to get a job. And he's going to be a contributor to this family, which, by the way, is going to significantly aid in his healing down the road. But it's time to stop talking. It's time to stop high-fiving. It's time to get to work. Got a big mess to clean up.
I'm George Camel, joined today by my good friend Dr. John Deloney. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. Right now, you're hearing a lot of talking heads in the news stirring up fear about the real estate market. And if you believe them, you think the housing market is going to crash. And it's going to be a repeat of what we saw with the 2008 housing crisis. But you're not hearing the truth. And you can't make decisions based on fear. You need the facts. And here's the facts. In 2008, there was huge supply of homes, but not enough buyer demand. So home prices dropped. But that's not what's happening in today's market. Right now, there are half as many homes for sale and twice as many buyers. You do the math, America. That means home prices aren't going down anytime soon. They're just growing at a slower rate. So if you're ready to buy or sell your home, you don't need to wait. You can still win in this market, but you've got to work with an experienced real estate agent. We've done the hard work of vetting the agents that know your local market and have the transactions to back it up. This is not your brother-in-law who just got his license. These are pros who sell tons of homes and help folks buy tons of homes every year. So if you want to connect with one of our Ramsey trusted agents for free, go to RamseySolutions.com/agent and check out our endorsed local providers program. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com/agent. Let's go to the phones this hour. It's a free call, 888-825-5225. Riley joins us up next in Atlanta. Riley, welcome to the show.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Great. How can we help?
So me and my fiance have a 4-month internship coming up, and it's about an hour and a half commute depending on traffic there and back. So 3 hours total per day. It's about 50 to 60 hours per week working, and we were wondering if we should try to find a 4-month lease, like an apartment, kind of closer to the office, or if we should just commute.
Is this a paid internship?
Yes, we will both be making about $20,000 each over those 4 months.
Okay, over 4 months, $20,000 each. So we're talking $40K over 4 months as your income, and that will be your income. What is this internship?
It's for an accounting firm. We're in school right now we're going to be CPAs.
And how old are you two?
An accounting firm, and she's 19 and I'm 20.
Okay. Cool. And you're wondering if it's worth it for the 3-hour commute to do this internship?
Yes. Some of the apartments in the area are about $1,200 to $1,500 a month, and then that's just rent. That's not including other expenses when living by ourselves. So
where do you live? Where do you live now?
We live in Villa Rica, Georgia. It's about like I said, about an hour and a half.
No, I mean, do you have an apartment? Do y'all share an apartment together or something like that?
No, we live at my parents' house still.
Okay.
For free, or are you guys paying rent?
For free. We have no debt.
100% chance. George, you can jump. I'd drive. I wouldn't go rent an apartment. That's what I would do. That's just me.
You're gonna a lot of fiance time, that's for sure. So that's good. You're gonna know.
Yeah. You're gonna find
know
out
if this was a good decision to put a ring on it.
You're 3 hours in the car together.
I don't think my wife could handle 3 hours of me in the car. We would be listening to murder podcasts within about 30 minutes.
Hey, you're gonna find out.
Now, personally, I'm not a fan of commutes, but if this is the decision you made together, that this is going to be the right move for both of your careers, it's for 4 months. It's not forever. There's a clear, defined end date to this, which makes me feel better versus we're going to move. We're not going to move. We're going to take this job 3 hours away and just figure it out later. But because you have free rent right now, I mean, that's a hard to pass up considering it's going to be maybe hard to find a 4-month lease anywhere in that area. And you're probably going to be paying a pretty penny for that.
Yeah, you'd be paying a premium for it, man. It's going to be annoying, but you're 20 years old, man. It's one of those things you're going to look back and when you're 30
John
or 40.
He was sleeping in vans at 19 probably.
No, I'm saying for a couple of years, I lived 2.5 hours away from where my PhD program was, and there was no online classes back then. So I would get done with my job at 2 p.m. that day, and I would drive 2.5 hours to make my class. I would go to class until 9 p.m., then I'd drive home that night to be at work the next day, and I just did that for several years.
Yeah.
Was it fun? No, it's the worst, man. It was the worst.
But you're going to have some great stories at the end of this.
But you do it, right?
Riley, what's the alternative? If you guys don't do this internship, what does life look like 4 months from now?
If we don't do the internship, then maybe we just continue in school, still live with my parents because I'm still working full time right now. I'm trying to save every dime I can for a down payment on a house when we finish school. But I definitely want to stay rent free as much as possible until we do finish college.
So other than gas, are you guys going to be able to sock away most of this money you're making? This $10,000 per month?
Yes.
That's good news. I like that plan.
Does one of y'all want to drive and one of you not?
My thought process was that would be like $2,000 extra we could save per month
by taking the internship.
Or just by commuting.
Mm-hmm.
We'd save $2,000 because we wouldn't have to buy rent or anything. And
so you're $8,000 positive at the end of the 4 months.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's a sacrifice, but it sounds like it's one.
I've done it, so it's just one of those stories.
Just make sure you're on the same page, because what worries me is she's into this a month and she's going, "This is misery," and now we have to live with this for 3 more months.
I don't think so. You just go get a 3-month lease. I mean, it's not gonna. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are you guys driving?
We were gonna take her car because she has a Ford Escape and it gets like 25 miles per gallon.
Okay. Well, luckily, gas has gone down in price lately. So
dude, this is an adventure, brother. Y'all can sing on the way. You can, I don't know.
You're going to find out every single
I have an idea. Stay on the line here. We're going to give you every single deck of questions for humans.
Yes. Can we do that, John? There's like 18 of them.
Yeah, that's true. Not the school ones, because they're not middle schoolers.
We'll send you the ones that make sense.
We're going to send you the ones that make sense.
You don't have kids. You don't need the kids
I'm going to help
edition.
with the commute for the first month or two, okay? Y'all are just going to ask each other these questions. And
I thought you were going to say you can listen to the Dr. John Deloney show every day.
That'd be a long commute, man. It'd be having a lot of hard conversations in that car. But hey, you got to promise me this. After this is over, if this has strengthened your relationship to the point that you're getting married, you got to invite us to the wedding. Is that cool?
Oh, definitely, man.
Okay, cool.
Y'all will receive an invite.
All right.
This
Very
is going to
cool.
be like Wedding Crashers with Dr. John Deloney and myself. Can't wait.
Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably that's not going to happen.
Okay, cool.
It'd be like just me and you just going to. Actually, George wouldn't go to the wedding anyway.
I would.
Hey, so tell me, why wouldn't you commute?
I'm just not a fan of commutes. My dad.
I've never heard of anyone being a fan of commutes, but why wouldn't you commute?
I live like 7 minutes from work, John. If I could live closer, I would. I think part of it is I get like car stress, like the anxiety of just like fighting like traffic and getting to work. It's a lot for me on my little body, you know. You understand? But I watched my dad. I mean, for the last 20 years, he just retired. The guy commuted an hour each way in Boston in traffic, and I was just going, "How is he doing this?" Yeah. That's hard, man. That wears on you.
Kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, such sacrifice.
I'm a big believer in we can all do hard things for a short season. And if this was indefinite, I'm going to take a job an hour and a half away, is just commute, 3-hour commute every day indefinitely. I'd say that's not a good idea.
We've got some Ramsey team members. You know, one of them lives in Alabama, which is not too far, right on the border of Tennessee, Alabama.
About an hour and 15 minutes every day.
But still quite the commute.
Yeah.
But it's a sacrifice you make and go, this is life right now, and we like where we live, and we can always move later, and I just choose to live as close as possible to work. And that's a decision I made for my family, John. Mostly so I can go home to my dogs at lunch.
That's what I was
You
thinking.
understand.
I know exactly.
The sacrifice you make for your dog.
Mm-hmm.
Legendary.
That's right.
Well, I appreciate the call, Riley. That's at 1920. Now, if they were like 45 and had kids, this would be a different scenario. But at 19 and 20,
I don't even know if it is. I think you do hard things in short seasons when you have a goal and you want to get there. I think we as a culture are trying to find the easiest path towards every single goal. And I think one of the things that made me appreciate my degree, made me think through it, I would get out of class and then I'd have a couple hours to think about what I had just experienced in class and did I agree with it, not agree with it. I think the entire gravity of that process, the grit and I didn't want to do it was hard, made the end result so much more powerful.
There's a lot of growth.
A lot of growth
process.
when you do hard things, especially really hard things for a short period of time. It's a gift, and we try to avoid it as a culture. That's why I say, man, for 4 months, choose the hard path.
All right, you changed my mind, John. I'm with you. This is The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm Ramsey personality George Camel, joined by my colleague and good friend, Dr. John Deloney. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. Charles joins us up next in Dallas, Texas. Charles, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Appreciate y'all.
Happy to take it. What's going on?
Yeah, I got a kind of an unfortunate incident happened with my parents. My mother got a scam call. I'm sure the one everybody's been hearing about. They called her and scared her into logging into giving her access to her computer and all this stuff. Well, long story short, she goes to a couple of stores to get some gift cards, and she's out a couple grand. Well, I'm in the tech space, and as soon as she called me, and I was kind of onto what was happening, I said, "I don't know who else you're talking to. Hang up the phone right now." But damage had kind of already been done at that point. But been in touch with the FTC and those proper channels. But after the fact, I'm kind of like, well, really can't determine what information, since they were in her computer, what information they may have gotten. And so I'm just kind of looking for some type of path forward, just to give my parents some peace of mind, whether it's a LifeLock type product like that, just in case they did get a hold of some type of information, so a couple of years down the road, if it flags, just kind of looking for some path forward post events going forward. So I don't think they had any type of identity, insurance or anything like that up front. It's all kind of after the fact. So,
man, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's a bummer. We
Yeah,
do
I think
have. There is a restoration service through Xander, Identity Theft Protection, and Dave actually, he covers every single Ramsey team member with that, and I actually went through identity theft soon after I started working here, and it was a game changer to have that in place. But there are restoration services through Xander that you can check out to help get kind of her life back and make sure that there's no further damage being done. So I covered this on a Ramsey Solutions article. There's like 12 things on there. Obviously asking for a fraud alert to be placed on credit reports on those accounts and freezing those. Has she done that?
I believe so. I think she's gotten in touch with all the credit cards. Unfortunately, there's more than one. There's more than a few. But I
Has
think
she
she's gotten in
filed
touch
a
with all
police
of them.
report?
I believe. I don't know if she's gotten to that point yet. It was first cancel credit cards, gift card provider, then to FTC. We kind of saved that not for last, but just kind of like there wasn't much they were going to be able to do.
I would just look in the Dallas area, file one with your local police. They may have a way to do it online, but when it happened to me, I met up with a police officer locally, and that really helped to have that official report, because you can use that when it comes to collections and things like that. There's a legitimate piece of information out there saying that this happened. Obviously, you mentioned the FTC. You filed a report with them. And then obviously monitoring every single dollar coming in and going out of her accounts. And canceling all cards, getting new cards, all of that, new bank account. That's a step you could take as well.
Yeah, they're already got them on to doing all of those things. Fortunate thing, they're very old school. They don't even have online banking, which in this scenario really saves.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, take that, Gen Z.
That's right. I wrote a check the other day and I felt right about it. So good for them.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the advice, guys. Just kind of want that peace of mind going forward, and I think it'll definitely help me there.
Yeah, and I would check out Xander's ID Theft Protection. It's a great product. Again, we have it on all of the Ramsey team members here, and there's a lot of things you can do. Obviously, they're not super tech savvy, so that helps. But as just a rule of thumb, just don't answer calls from people you don't know, and then go and do money orders from Western Union and go buy gift cards. Have some common sense, but they use a lot of fear tactics and urgency. Right, yeah. And some folks here at Ramsey recently had to deal with some scams, and they are very savvy now. I mean, they can they can spoof numbers, and they can spoof the sheriff's department, and the voices sound real. And so you've always got to take a pause, be very skeptical when it comes to these calls, and always they go, oh, we wouldn't call you to collect. No, it doesn't work like that. Whenever you actually call that place that says you owe money to. So there's a lot of things you can do for the future, but this is one of those you categorize as stupid tax, and you learn from it and you move on.
Yeah, and I'm actually in the IT world, and I've preached it to her, and she's so vigilant. Like, they don't even online banking. Like, she's usually always so vigilant, and of course she's just kind of traumatized now. But I just couldn't believe, not that she fell for it, but it's like, it can happen to anybody. Like, they've gotten so sophisticated. It's really scary.
Yeah, and there's a lot of shame and guilt that come along with that, where you beat yourself up going, how was I so done? Listen, I'm sure she's a smart woman. This can happen to literally anyone, but she's learned her lesson, and I hope that folks listening call your parents and tell them about this and say, hey, don't answer calls from random people. Don't go get gift cards. If it sounds fishy, hang up and say, hey, I'm going to go to the website for that place, and I'll call that number. And if they start to get angry, that's how you know it's a scam, and just hang up.
Well, or say, hey, if anyone ever calls you for money, have them call me, and I'll be happy to do that for you.
And I will handle it.
That's right.
Oh, that's a bummer, man. Thanks for the call. Pablo joins us up next in Ontario, Canada. Pablo, welcome to the show.
George, John, what's shaking, guys?
We're just south of the border, living our life, man. How are you doing?
Oh, live the dream. You know how it is.
What's going on?
We're way south of the border.
Way
George
south.
just is not an excellent geography student.
It's just south.
Cool.
I never said how far south.
You said, all right. What's up, Pablo?
Anyways, this is about Pablo. What's going on, man?
I got a question, gentlemen. If I got the cash to pay off my mortgage, do I pay it or do I keep investing?
What are you currently investing?
In terms of value?
Percentage-wise of your income?
No income at the moment, but last 2 years has been very well for me.
Did you get laid off or did you quit?
I got laid off.
Okay. What's your trade? What do you do?
I was electrical technologist here.
Okay.
How long have you been unemployed?
About a year.
Why?
Some health reasons and a few other things that happened.
Okay.
But
So how much is left on this mortgage?
$324.
And you have that in cash?
I purchased the home just before COVID as a new build, and it took about 6 to 8 months to build. So in that meantime, I was selling rental properties.
So you had some profits from those sales that you've been just stocking away in the bank.
Exactly. Okay. So within a year or two, my personal home just tripled. And so I just pocketed that cash, waiting for my investments to go up. Luckily, I cashed out at a good time.
So how much money do you have in liquid cash?
Well over $1 million.
Wow. Yeah, dude, pay off the house today.
Pay off your house yesterday.
What do you mean by keep investing?
Well, do I just keep all my RSPs are maxed out, all my TFSAs are maxed out?
I'm just wondering, it sounds like you can do both with this level of cash. You're going to continue to invest. This home payoff is not going to hold you back that much.
Yeah, that's kind of my problem is, do I pay off the mortgage, invest the rest? And
it sounds like you just love investing and seeing money grow, and so to put it on the house, you feel like, well, that doesn't make sense. I could see this money grow at 10%.
Exactly. That's my issue.
Okay, so here's the deal. You made a killing off the other side of the market, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Comes a moment when you keep not dealing with the risk side of that teeter-totter that you become the person who somebody else makes a whole bunch of money off of. So what that means is get rid of all of your risk.
You're going to sleep so good with no mortgage payment.
Off the table, man. Like that.
What are you doing, man?
That's your sleeping. It's a sleep tax, man. Pay it, dude. Sleep.
That's not even a big part of your world, dude. You got this, Pablo. You know what to do. And I'm telling you, there's nothing like having a paid-for house. And you got plenty of other money to invest. You're going to be multimillionaire. Sounds like you already are. You're doing great. Good problem to have. Thanks for the call. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Acts 20:35. In everything I showed you that by working hard in this way, you must help the weak and remember the words of the Lord Jesus, that he himself said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Jackie Chan said, I do small things. I try to do good things every day. If everyone does some good, think of what a good world this will be.
I love Jackie Chan.
Big fan. How can
Huge
you not?
fan.
How can you not? All right, let's go to Xenia in South Carolina. Xenia, welcome to the show.
Hi, y'all. Thanks for having me.
Happy to have you. How can we help today?
All right. Well, I'm graduating at the end of the year on my 19th birthday with an associate's degree, debt-free.
Wow.
And I'm getting married in May. So I was wanting to get some advice on purchasing a car in between now and then.
Do you have a car now?
I don't. I've never owned a car.
And what's the urgency? Are you needing it to get around right now, get to work?
No, not necessarily. My parents have two vehicles, so that's working out right now, and I work close by.
So you're borrowing their car?
I am.
Okay.
I will be moving across the state when I get married. So
in May. So are you saying you can borrow this car until May?
Probably.
Okay. How much debt do you have, if any?
She said
none at all.
debt free.
The degree's debt free. I didn't know if there's any other debt in the picture. That's great.
No,
you have
no.
any cash?
Around $6,000. I have an emergency fund too.
Oh, great. How much is in the emergency fund?
$500.
Okay.
I took Dave's teen course, so that
I was going to say, I was like, 500 sounds awfully like what we teach in our personal finance curriculum. That is awesome. You've been following this plan.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy a car right now, I think the best path forward is to go buy a local emergency room and have them remove one of your kidneys and get on Craigslist and sell it. And that's you should be able to wrangle up enough hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash to buy a good used
Someone out
Honda.
there is going to take John's advice.
Don't do that.
Okay, so you got $6,000 ready to put towards this car. And are you working
True.
currently?
I am. About 20 hours a week.
Good for you. What do you make?
$12 an hour.
Okay.
So what's your question?
You're saying what's the best way?
Is,
When should you buy it? How much should you spend?
where should I start?
Well, I think we got to start with a goal of doing some research and looking around and saying, okay, if I bought a car today with cash with my $6,000, what kind of car could I buy? And you can start doing that research. There's a lot of car, buying sites. You can start with one like Auto Trader and start to sort it from low to high and go, all right, not going to go with the $2,000 beater car. I could go with the $5,000 Honda or Toyota, right? And then you have a goal in mind. If you're going, okay, I really want that $7,000 car, and I can do that by February if I save up another $200 a month, $400 a month. And so once you set that goal, it'll become pretty clear of kind of what you're aiming for. And I would avoid, major dealerships. To find a car in that range, you can look at Facebook Marketplace, you can look at Craigslist, you can look at Auto Trader, like I mentioned. And from there, you always want to do a pre-purchase inspection. So that's where you're going to take it to a separate mechanic to get it independently inspected before you ever make this purchase. Promise me you'll do that.
I promise.
It'll cost probably $100, right, John?
Or $200, yeah.
$100, $200, and it is worth the peace of mind. So you don't go, I got a great deal, and now it needs a new transmission and a clutch pack piston, and I don't even know what that means.
Can I, Xenia, I'm going to make an admission here, okay? So this is my confession. I am terrible at buying cars. Okay? So one of the rules I have for myself is when I'm about to buy a car, I take somebody with me who knows what they're doing. And I know about cars. I like cars. I've bought a lot of cars in my life, but I'm just terrible at doing it. I either get attached to something, I get bored with the process, and I just want to hurry it up, and I end up buying a car that probably wasn't the best car for me. So here's why I tell you that. Are you and your dad still close? Mm-hmm. Would it be possible for your dad, who's just trying to love his daughter and be involved, and she's about to get married and graduate and move on, if you said, hey, Dad, could we go test drive a few cars and you could teach me what to look for?
Absolutely.
And that would
He's actually a former mechanic, too.
Oh, gosh. You would make his, number one, don't call a couple of knuckleheads on the radio when your dad's a mechanic.
What are we doing here?
Number two, man, give him this one. Give your old man this one.
He's going to love this.
I will.
He will love
I promise.
And say, this is how much we have. I can't spend any more than this. He's probably going to dump some on top of it because you're his baby girl. And everybody's going to win. But he's going to go to bed at night like, that's right. She still likes me. She still needs me. Right? What a great gift you can give to that old man.
Ashley, don't listen to outside people and pressure that say, well, Ashley, you work so hard. You deserve a really nice, reliable, safe car. And that's why you have to get a new car that's $30,000 and put as little. Don't do that. Yeah. You know better, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of pressure out there from people. And right now, you got no one to impress. Except Dad, and Dad's gonna be proud of you for paying cash for that car.
I love it.
And I'll tell you, I bought a car in 2017, and it cost me exactly $6,000. Got it from a former Ramsey coworker, Honda Civic 09, leather seats, whole 9 yards. It was beautiful, John.
And that same car today goes for about
$76,000. And then I got in a wreck in 2019, and I didn't even give a rip. Because it already had body damage. And so at 19 years old, I think every 19-year-old should drive kind of a crappy car. That's just a weird old man stance I have.
I 100% agree.
I just don't think they deserve Jeep Wranglers that are brand new at 19 years old.
I don't know if it's a deserve thing. Yeah, I think it's good to put your time in.
You're going to bump it against some things in you, so take your time with it and make the decision when it's right for you. But there's no wrong way to do it except for going into debt and not getting an inspection. So thank you so much for the call. All right, let's take a quick one from Ashley in Maryland. Ashley, we're up against the clock. Let's get right to it. How can we help? Oh, sorry,
Hi,
North Dakota. I thought that was an M on my screen.
Yes.
You're way far from there.
We are. We're almost to Canada. It's very cold up here.
Wow.
So my husband's Air Force. He's active duty. We live on the Air Force base, so we don't pay rent. Just comes straight out of his paycheck BAH. We do not have to pay utilities, which is a huge perk, especially with how cold it gets during the wintertime. But we found a property that we're interested in that's about 10 minutes away. We can try and get it for $275, and it has 2 acres. It's a nice property, but it needs a lot of work. So, like, the location is beautiful.
Ashley, when are y'all going to have to move again?
3.5 years.
Don't do it. I'm so
Really?
sorry. I wouldn't.
Okay.
And
It's okay.
I'm telling you, as a guy who loves acreage and the woods, and if I had to live on base, I would feel so constricted. And I see you and I work with you, and I just want to have a place where there's not a bunch of jacked up Jeeps everywhere. I get it. And
yes.
Man, in 3.5 years, who knows? I mean, this property may triple in value, and it may be just a mess for the next 3 years. You're going to fix this place up, fall in love with it, have some peace, and you're going to have to move again.
Yeah, and that's what we were afraid of. But then I thought maybe the land would grow. You know, having 2 acres close to town, maybe that would be worth more in 3 years when we sell.
Yeah, it might. It might. Do you have enough money to get into it?
Yeah.
Are you guys debt-free with an emergency fund and the down payment?
Yes, so we are debt-free. We have about $150,000 in the bank.
Wow.
And so we've been saving for the last 8 years for a house.
Okay, well then I take that back. I'm an idiot. I mean, if you're gonna be there for 3 or 4 years, I mean, I don't know, George.
How much work does it need?
Okay, so it needs all new flooring. We want to do we don't need real hard.
I mean, is this like $50,000? Give me a ballpark of what you think it would cost.
I'd say probably 75 to 50 to make it look really nice.
I wouldn't.
That's because then you're going to put 75 down on the 275, because then you're going to need the rest of the cash to do all these repairs. And if you don't, you're going to be half miserable in this house of, this was my vision, but now I can't accomplish it because we don't have the cash. Oh, yeah. I would tread lightly. But again, if you know you're moving in 3 years, you're going to just have settled in and then all of a sudden have to go around and turn this house you poured your soul into.
That you love.
That's a tough place to
hope
be.
It recoups. Yeah, that's hard.
It's not a dumb decision, but I just don't want you to have regrets either.
Yes, I guess it's one of those that the dollars work fine.
But thanks for the call, Ashley. Wish you the best.
Tough,
and
though.
thank your husband for his service. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. Thanks to John Deloney, all the folks in the booth, and you, America. Thanks for listening. Do you love a good Dave rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.